How did girlfriend therapy get started? Girlfriend therapy started as a gathering of women in my living room. My husband, I share this testimony often, my husband, who was retired military, was in his last year and a half of military service. He was stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas, and while he was away, he was actually in Fort Riley in preparation to go to a combat zone. My prayer was that that my husband would not step foot on foreign soil. God honored that prayer, but my husband ended up staying in Fort Riley, Kansas until he retired. And so he was there for about a year and a half. And during that time, of course, money was tight. So retail therapy was not an option. And I remember one morning sitting on the couch, it was a Saturday morning, trying to figure out what I was going to do with myself for that day. And God just dropped my spirit, girlfriend therapy. And I was just like, girlfriend therapy, and start thinking about and brainstorming what that would look like. And the only thing I could think about is just getting in a room with some girlfriends and just having a good time. And so that's how girlfriend therapy was birthed, just out of this, this desire to just really kind of connect with other women. And so the very next day, I actually drew up some little, invitation cards, and the very next day I was kind of handing them out at church. It's interesting because I think I did my original cards, I believe that I did them like on just 3x5 cards. It was nothing fancy. But it's like the audacity to think that that was a great idea, but it was. And I love the innocence of it all, because there was no, there was no pressure on me to make it anything. It was just like, hey, I'm having, women to my house, come on over. And, we held the first girlfriend therapy conference, or first girlfriend therapy gathering. I think it was March of 2008. We had it in my home. And we had a great time. And I remember at one point looking around the room, or looking around my home, and there were women in different rooms laughing together and just holding hands and praying with one another, crying with each other. It was just like this space that was created for women to just really love on and support women. And I did that for every quarter for about 2.5 years. Somewhere in the middle of that 2.5 years, God said Girlfriend Therapy Conference. And in March of 2011, we hosted and held our first Girlfriend Therapy Conference. And again, the pressure of what that meant, because from the time that God first said Girlfriend Therapy to the time that now we're doing this conference, there was a lot of revealing, a lot of growing up, and a lot of revelation, and just God really speaking to me with regards to girlfriend therapy. And in the midst of that, coming to the understanding and realization that it is a ministry, and that it's not just something, again, that has a deeper meaning. And so that's kind of where it was birthed out of, just like a gathering of women in my living room. And then it grew and developed and matured into the ministry that we see, that we see today.